Hello guys, and what's going on? So in this one we are going to talk about the post sober global. Okay, and the post sober global, as I said in the last video, will basically get some data from our form. Okay, it's of course an HTML form, so we're going to write some HTML code in this video. So it's gonna be quite long, but I wanna write everything from scratch because I want to give you some insights about HTML, and of course it will get the data once the form is submitted. Okay, so this is basically what the post sober global variable is. It gets some data from an HTML form, and it of course can fetch some parameters, but this is not what post is ideally used for. It's used for collecting data. Okay, so let me close this. I'm going to write some HTML right here. Let me get my form going. It's going to be, I know, a little boring, but the HTML code right here have something important to do with the post post sober global, of course. Okay, now to our form, and now there are two attributes right here. It's really important to get the data from your form. The first one is the method, which specifies the method that we're using, and of course we are going to be using the post method, but of course you can write here get or whatever, but we are working now on the post method. So and the second one is the action attribute, which will specify which page that we're submitting for, and of course we're submitting to the same page, so we can write now the name of this page right there. And of course if we're submitting to another page, we are going to type in or write this page name right here. Okay, so let me end this. Now the form, now we need to create some inputs. Let me like this input type. And if you don't know HTML, actually this is this is really easy. HTML is a markup language. It's not even a programming language, so you should pick it up like in an hour or so. An hour is even too much for it. So the type will be text, and the name, and this is also really easy. This is really important in our form, because we are going to take the names and get the data with the post sober global within. Okay, so you should be careful writing your names. Okay, so in the next one is going to be, let me create another input type, let me say text, and of course this can be a password or whatever you want it. Name, let me specify this for an email. Okay, and let me just specify some names for the inputs. This can make more sense. Username, email, like that. Okay, let me put some BRs. And now to our input, to our submit, we are going to put an input of a type submit, so we can submit our form to get the data. Okay, input type submit, and of course we need also a name for this. Let's call it also submit. Okay, and this is also really important. This is mandatory right here. Okay, and of course the name is mandatory, and the method and the action are always mandatory in a form. so we can get our data. So now we're done with our HTML. Now let's go to PHP. By now, go ahead, and I want to check if there is any request or any post request that's happening on the page. Now I need to check, so I need to use if, and I will use the set method, which will check for something, you know, that's happening on the page. We'll take up a var right there. We are going to check if there is any post. Okay, and this is the form of the Sober global. Okay, any Sober global starts with a dollar sign, which is of course the most famous sign in PHP, and the underscore or the dash, as you want to call it, and the name of this Sober global, which is post right here. Of course, this can be get, this can be server, you know, whatever, but now we need to write our post, so it will be like that, and our braces, and you know, the braces is also a part of the form of the Sober global, you know, and we need to specify that where it's a submit name, and this is submit. Okay, and what's really happening right here is that we are, you know, we are writing our post, and we're checking if there is a post, with the name of submit, which is the name right here. Okay, so we're snapping the submit name, and we're checking if there is some kind of post that's happening to the form. And now to our curly braces, and we want to get our data. Okay, so basically for getting the data, we are going also to check if there is a post that's happening to the inputs. Okay, we have our inputs right there with the user, with the name of a user name value, and with an email value right there. So what basically happens right here, we are seeing if there is a post, a post request, you know, that's happening to this form right here, or any action which is clicking this input right here, and we are going to I'm going to demonstrate this. Okay, we are going to see this in a second. But if it checks for a submit or a click on this input right here, it will get the data from the input with the username, which has the username right here, and the input from the email input right here. Okay, the data from the input right here, sorry, this input right here with the name of email. Okay, so now I want to set, you know, assign them to variables so I can use them. And of course you can use them like this, but I like to put them in a variable. It just looks a little better. And email, just like this. And now I got my data right here, and now I need to echo them out. So I would say my user name is, and I will just echo out the name, and my email is, and I will just echo out the email just like that, and a semicolon, and this should be it. We're checking if there is a post. And sorry for saying this multiple times, but you know, you need to get I just need to demonstrate it multiple times just so you can get into your head. And we are seeing here we are getting the username data after the submit and the email data right there, and we're just printing out. It's the simplest slash easiest example you can ever create with a post method. So if we refresh this, okay, and Okay, I know it sounds, I actually created this video for the second time, so this is our page right here. And of course it looks a little ugly. You can style this what you want, but this is not a style video, it's about PHP Sober Globals. Okay, so if we go ahead and type any username, let me say there is an email, and if you click on submit, it will give us our data back. Okay, my username is Muhammad Hassan, my email is Muhammad whatever. If we try this one more, and if we go like this, if we submit, my username is Fatih and my email is, you know, whatever we entered right here in our form. Okay, so this is it for the post request, and see you on the next one.